What's up, everybody? Hope you're having a good Wednesday. If you watch my other videos, you're probably asking yourself, how'd you come to know all this stuff? Quick answer, lived experience. Long answer, quite a few times going to court, quite a few times hiring different lawyers, quite a few run-ins with baby mama, whatever you want to call it, ex, daughter's mother, whatever. Being a young dad, 19, I was with her mother for a total of 2.5 years, so essentially my daughter was a year and a half, when I decided that it was just too volatile of a relationship. Got to remember, this is like almost 20 years ago, so the laws today are not the laws back then. Law interactions, or legal interactions, if you will, police involved, stuff like that. Back then it very much was domestic incident happens, cops are called, dude gets hauled away, right? Guy gets hauled away. It doesn't matter who did what, doesn't matter who's at fault, doesn't matter who started it, doesn't matter who ended it. So finding myself trying to move on and with my life and do the right thing and be there for my daughter and set up visitation, set up child support, all that stuff. My suggestion, from what I learned, is don't try to do that outside of court. You're better off just going right to court, filing the paperwork, making it all legal, making it binding. I got caught in the I'm just gonna disappear. I got caught in the I'll take my daughter and I'm moving and you're never gonna see her again. Being at the age I am now, I realized that was all emotional direction. That was manipulation. When you're young and you're full of youth, testosterone, whatever you want to call it, you're a little less rational about life. You're a little less rational about the decisions. Now, bring a child into that situation, right? It's probably going to be a little bit more irrational, especially when you care about your kid. You want to be in your kid's life. You want to be a good person, be a good father. Essentially, when you're brought into that situation and you're gonna have your kid ripped away from you, what can you ultimately do about it? If it's not legal, not much. If you don't have a binding document that states that she can't leave the county, she can't live beyond 50 miles of where you live. Those are important things to make sure you get into that legal document, custody document. I learned a lot about lawyers. They don't really care about you specifically as a person. They don't care about your situation. They care about getting in and making sure that the child is essentially taken care of. I would suggest very much vetting the lawyer that you go with. Do not find yourself in a position where you're scrambling to find a lawyer. Make sure that you are prepared, and financially and emotionally. My first lawyer wanted to know every smitten, every detail, every situation, every action. I sat in her office for hours at $175 to $250 an hour. That's not a good way to use your money, to spend your money. So don't think that you need to get, I understand how difficult it is at the moment. If you find yourself in a situation where you need to lawyer up, you're already behind the 8 ball. So how you spend that time and how you spend your money is still very important. I understand it's for your kids. I understand that, you don't want to frivolously spend your money, but you want to get your story heard, and you want to, be able to speak your mind and have your, day in court or whatever. Just don't spend that before court. Spend that during court time. They bill you. They bill you for everything. If they have to send a letter, if they have to make a phone call on your behalf, if they have to contact the other lawyer or the other party, they will bill you for everything. Minimum 15 minutes. So if you don't know that already, have that in the back of your head before you even get started. Appeasing doesn't always work. Obviously, it depends on the other person, but just trying to appease them and keep them happy is essentially being blackmailed. And that will most likely, more likely than not, be the case. It will be 200, 300 this month, 200, 300 the next month. Then something will come up. They're going to need more money. They're going to need this. They're going to need that. When I was going through court, I honestly thought when they were setting up the child support that going through the enforcement agency in my state was like, we don't trust you to pay, right? And it initially hits you in your ego. Truth is, let your ego go. Just let it go. It has nothing to do with you. It has everything to do with making sure, in the state's eyes, that the mom gets the money necessary to care for the child. That's fine. Just let it go. Let it come out of your paycheck. The way I justified it to myself after a couple of days of mulling it over, thinking about it, letting it get me all butthurt, was as one less check that I have to write her, right? You don't have to write a check every 2 weeks or once a month or whatever. It's done. So just let it be done. Just let it go. But anyway, lawyers don't always necessarily have your best interests at heart. So when I said vet lawyers, I mean literally vet lawyers. My first lawyer I thought really cared. I thought she, was going to go into court and fight for my rights and, not let the judge have it to that kind of level or capacity, but, something along the lines of, really making sure that my rights are being represented and my opinions are being represented. And that just wasn't the case, man. It was all about money for all of them involved. They all claim that they care about the kids and they want to make sure the right thing happens, and the truth is that they really just care about money. I don't think that that's great, but I understand the system being through it for so long. My first opportunity of going to court, I was on the backslide. Like I had to come to defense. I was behind the 8 ball, so that made it even worse. Vet the lawyer that you're gonna go with. Really take some serious hard look at, ask them for, other cases that they dealt with, and, ask if there's any type of congruency with your situation, and make sure that they're gonna do the right thing. Make sure they're gonna actually represent you. And the moment they don't, it's time. It doesn't matter. You're in the middle of a case, as long as you're not in trial. Even if you're in the middle of a case, you can always get a case postponed to find a new lawyer. Do not waste your money on lawyers who do not represent you. First round of custody and all that, I got the shaft. $25,000. And I got the shaft. I got the usual Wednesday evenings for 4 hours, every other weekends, Friday to Sunday, 4 to 4, whatever it would be, 6 to 6. I lived that life. And the last thing I wanted to do is have my daughter live that life. Unfortunately, I just kind of had to wait it out. Like my other video, building that relationship with your kids will very much change or alter the future, and hopefully for the better. So that's why it's kind of important to me to put that back out there. But anyway, lawyers, they don't really care about you. So make sure you vet them. The moment they don't stand up for you, dump them. Go get another one. Doesn't matter, again, unless you're in actual court, like trial, like you went to trial, like I did, get another lawyer. It's not worth spending all that money for a lawyer who, at the end of the day, isn't going to fight for you. My second lawyer did not care about any of my personal issues in the situation. I walked in on a consultation. She did it for free. Most of them will. This is not legal advice. This is just my lived experience. I have to say that because I don't want people to say, wow, he said, blah, blah, blah. No. I'm just giving you advice on the DL so that you don't end up in the same situation I did. Doesn't matter, young, old, all throughout, whatever. So my second lawyer didn't care. Didn't want to hear a story. Didn't want to hear about her. Didn't want to hear about me. Asked some information about, our daughter, and wanted to know what the current situation was, if I already had a legal binding custody agreement and child support. She ran the numbers for herself to make sure the child support was right, and it was, and make sure that everything is on the up and up and that the custody order is being followed. And when it was time for round 2, she went in there. She was a bulldog, like no joke. Like, I don't know if it's better to have a lawyer who just cares more about the kids and cares more about the law, or if it's better to have a lawyer who knows people and knows a lot of people. That clout will get you somewhere. So sometimes paying a little bit more for a lawyer might actually benefit you, because you more than likely will be there for a shorter period of time. So you might this is not a an extended thing you want to do. I did court for a year the first time. It was almost a year to the day, and I didn't end up any better than I could have probably fought for myself. So my second lawyer, again, just bulldog. Walked in there, pretty much told the judge how it was going to be. I was fighting a second case at the time, which is all he said, she said. Domestic violence laws don't care about dads. They don't care about men. So just keep that in the back of your mind. Don't get caught up in that stuff. Like, that's bad stuff. They'll just take your rights away from you, and then you have to prove that you didn't do something. So we all know how difficult that is. This video's starting to get kind of long, but my second lawyer really did a number. Really went in there, straightened things out. Pretty much laid down the law, and that was really nice. So she was more expensive. It hurt in the wallet, but the truth is that it was great on the long term. I wasn't taken advantage of. I felt like my rights were being upheld, at least to the bare minimum, if not better than bare minimum, like my first lawyer. But it made the world a difference to have a lawyer who knew what she was doing and knew people, and could walk in and essentially, telling me stories that, they had known each other for a long time, the judge and her. So that was really nice. I can't stress enough, vet the lawyers before you even give them $1. It can either make or break your case, and it can either make or break the next 18 years of your life if you're just starting off. If you're just starting, your kid's 1 year old, what do you got, 17 years to go? Like, that's a long time. That's a long time to be paying a lot of money in child support, in some instances more than you should be or required to. And Obviously, it depends on how vindictive the ex is. So keep that in mind. But anyway, I hope this helps. As usual, like, comment, share, subscribe, all the happy YouTube stuff. I didn't realize that comments were going to be disabled until I made so many videos, so I apologize for that. If you're watching it now, go back, or go back and make your comments if you want to on the other videos. But like I said, I always want to make this a place for dads to come and be able to have conversations, share their stories, so that fathers can have a place to go and have a resource. So let's build a community of resource. I don't see a lot on YouTube, so that's why I wanted to do this. Now that my daughter's 18, I have that experience, I have that knowledge. That's been my mission for the last 18 years. So let me know what you guys think, and hope you guys had a great day, and we'll talk to you later.